If you wanted to take a photo that is as close to what you see as possible, how would you do it? Let's talk about cameras and the biology of the human eye. So firstly, we gotta think about focal length. The focal length of the human eye is around 17 millimeters, fairly wide. But because your retina is curved, you've actually got almost 180 degrees of peripheral vision. So it's functionally more like an 8 millimeter fisheye lens. However, the cells that actually receive light are not evenly distributed. They are densely clustered towards the center of your vision, where color detection and resolution are the highest. The signals you perceive at the outermost edges of your vision are fairly incomplete and are mostly composites made by your brain. Cameras don't really do that. Well, phone cameras kind of do, but it's different. So let's say that the focal length is functionally 17 millimeters. Next, we gotta think about light sensitivity. The ISO rating of the human eye is hugely variable, ranging from 1 to around 800,000 depending on lighting conditions. So I guess you'd want to shoot with like a Nikon D5 or something else that can reliably crank up the ISO. Next, we gotta think about shutter speed. Obviously, the biological material of your retina functions much differently than a camera shutter, but the relative processing speed of your optical system is between 1/60th and 1/200th of a second. 1/200th of a second is about the fastest that light can land on your retina and get processed by your brain in a coherent way. So let's say that that is our maximum shutter speed. Finally, we have to think about aperture. Of all of the similarities between eyes and cameras, I think aperture is the most functionally similar. Your pupils work almost identically to aperture blades, shrinking to let in less light and dilating to let in more light. The relative aperture range varies from around f8.3 in bright light to f2.1 in the dark. So, to approximate the human eyeball in a photo as closely as possible, you should grab a 17 millimeter lens that shoots f2 to f8. You should limit your shutter speed to somewhere between 1/60th and 1/200th of a second, and crank up your ISO to whatever works best for the lighting conditions that you're shooting.